auditors in the first District Engineering Office of Bulacan. Yung pong team leader at saka kanyang assistant team leader. Bumaba po kasi ang aming number of positions dahil po nabawasan po kami ng DBM. 963 positions pong naalis, sa Bulacan po ay, sa Region 3 is 136 positions po yan. So yung pong aming dalawang auditors doon ay handles 11 municipalities, 3 cities, and 8 LTO offices. But nakapag-issue naman po sila ng NDs. But ako po, Your Honors, ang tingin ko po, I would say na medyo nagkaroon po ng konting kakulangan, and the part of that ay we cured it through a fraud audit, diretso po, galing sa taas. So, nagpa-fraud audit po kami sa First Engineering District of Bulacan, and so far, Your Honors, we have already issued 21 fraud audit reports. 8 po dito ay nasubmit na po namin sa Ombudsman, at yung natitirang 12 ay simula po nang lumabas ang executive order creating the ICI, ay doon na po kami nag-submit. Yung pong una namin sinabmit na 8 ay naging basis po ng administrative suspension nun pong mga employees, personnel of the DPW district sa First District po ng Bulacan. Gusto ko rin pong sabihin na one of the items po na lumalabas sa amin ay yun pong one of our commissioners po ay nagkaroon po ng parang conflict of interest. Ang isa pong aming reform na gagawin is all our employees will be asked to issue a declaration of conflict of interest, kung ano pong kanilang economic interest at kung ito po ay may conflict sa kanilang trabaho bilang auditor. Ito po ay naging suggestion po sa amin ng House of Representatives through Congressman Chel Jokno, and ito po ay magiging aside po from the SALN. Doon po kasi sa SALN ay nakalagay lang yung corporation, but you don't say naman kung anong ginagawa ng corporation at saka kung anong business, just the name of the corporation. Dito po sa amin, mas detalyado po ang aming hihingin na mga information po para makita po namin kung talaga may conflict of interest or hindi, or wala. Another thing is magkakaroon po kami ng issuance of memorandum circulars, and si Commissioner Douglas Malirin po ang mag-discuss ng memo circulars on geotagging of our projects po.
Go ahead, Commissioner Douglas.
Magandang umaga po, Mr. Chair. The statement regarding the geotagging po. The geotagging is a requirement po for all infrastructure projects. Hindi lang po ito para sa DPWH. Alam mo natin na ang DPWH, NIA, the Department of Health, and not only the national agencies po, pati mga GOCC, pati mga LGU po, ay may infrastructure projects. As early as 2017 ho, si DPWH issued department order requiring all projects ho to be geotagged. Ang ibig ho sabihin natin sa geotagging, nandito ho ang lokasyon, eksaktong lokasyon ho ng mga proyekto. Ang kakaibahan lang ho nito ay nakafocus lang po siya sa DPWH. So ang gagawin po ng COA is to issue a circular requiring all infrastructure projects ho to be geotagged. Sa kasalukuyan ho, nag-uusap po kami with DPWH dahil ho, ang geotagging is a continuous activity. Pati ho, mas kinatapos na ho rin yung proyekto, even during the warranty period ho, kailangan ho nababantayan para makita ho natin yung wear and tear at kung ito po ay sumusunod dun sa mga guarantee at sa mga warranties. The geotagging circular po is now ongoing, the draft. We have completed ho at the stage po ng COA. And since this is a circular, may konting coordination lang po ito sa mga ahensyang tatamaan bago ho ito maging final circular po. Kausap din po namin ang DPWH. Binabalanse ho namin ang requirement ho at yung bagong teknolohiya ho ng satellite geotagging. Maaari ho with the satellite geotagging, it might be in coordination po with the ICT as well and NTC. Dahil ho, makakatipid din po tayo maski na may kamahalan ho ang satellite services. But if a satellite geotagging can be done for 10 projects in a given day, at ito po ay magiging mas transparent, may iwasan ho natin yung pagpepeke ho ng geotag, yung tipong litrato po, sinusuperimpose lang po yung GPS coordinates. With a satellite-driven geotagging, we can cover a bigger area. Then we have a third party doing the geographical information system requirements po. We are coordinating on that po with the DPWH at the moment. So, ito pong circular na to, pag lumabas po, we're not only looking at DPWH, all infrastructure projects, lalong-lalo na kung napakalaki ho or these are called big ticket items, ay mako-cover ko nito. Mr. Chair, this is just one of the initiatives of COA at the moment. Nag-uusap na rin po kami ng system integration with the departments on infra. Ito po ay, ang kahulugan ho nito, yung mga sistema ho ng DPWH, PICAB, PhilJeps, at SEC at BIR, ipag-iisa ho natin para magmukhang isang portal. Karamihan ho nangyayari ngayon katulad ho sa bidding, the bidders are required to submit the bidding documents, and ang pagsisiyasa to o pag-check ho ng mga dokumento na to ay lahat ho manual. Kung magkakaroon ho ng portal lahat ho ng ahensya, ma-check ho sa SEC, sa BIR, yung kanilang mga kontrata, tulad ho ng mga NFCC at LCC ho nila. So magtutugma-tugma. Napapansin ho ng BIR ngayon, and it is being reported, na maski na ganito kalalaki ho ang project nila sa DPWH, pag tiningnan ho yung kanilang mga ITR, napakaliit ho yung mga deklarasyon. So, tinitingnan ho namin na pag nagtugma-tugma ho ang mga impormasyon na to, we're looking at engaging all the agencies po para magiging isa lang po. And the third po na tinitingnan, it has been a constant suggestion, a pre-audit. Under the Constitution po natin, sa saligang batas, sinasabi po natin na post-audit po ang COA. Pero meron pong exception under the Constitution and under PD 1445 ho na dinadasal ho namin magbago na rin po at maayos ng magawang mas moderno po. We can do pre-audit under certain circumstances po kung mababa ang internal control po ng isang ahensya. Pinag-aaralan nga lang ho namin the resources required to do a pre-audit. Especially ho manpower, facilities, and babalansin ho namin ito sa operational speed ng isang ahensya. This was lifted, the pre-audit was there with COA po until 2011, but this was lifted considering the clamor of the agencies that a lot of their operations po were being hampered or we are being slowed down by the pre-audit. So this was lifted, but there will come a time po we may need to balance the requirement po of a pre-audit as against going full post-audit po. So we're looking into the resources. Right now po, our initial estimate just for the DPWH alone and their district engineering office, we're looking at a PS or cost lang po ng tao, roughly about 1.7 B a year. Ang nakikita ho namin sa MOE ho nila would roughly be 300 million a year. And yung initial year capital outlay requirements ho is running at 400 million for the first year. So, in terms of costing po and in terms of procedure, we're going to balance po a possible pre-audit or a selective pre-audit, but we are also banking on a full digitalization so that we could run better data analytics po as against a purely manual pre-audit po. So, initially po, Mr. Chair, ito po yung mga courses of action that COA is taking a look at moving forward po. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for addressing this. No? Talagang hindi pwedeng hindi natin palagpasin dito because, Mr. Chair, I think this scandal probably the biggest already in our history that rocked the government na kinagali talaga ng taong bayan na hindi, it's not only DPWH but of course sila po talaga yung primary agency that really undertook or implemented this substandard or ghost projects kasama yung proponents, but yung DBM was also mentioned, may kasama sa DBM, meron din sa COA, no? Ang while it has not been proven yet, siguro Chairman Cordova, that resident auditors knowingly participated in the fraud, falsification, bribery, or was formally charged. Allegation is either through negligence or complicity, but they did not act through the red flags dito sa flood control project. So, ang tanong ko lang, may sarili ba tayong investigation na sinagawa ang COA dito sa resident auditors that were assigned in itong notorious na Bulacan District Engineering Office? Siguro, Mr. Chair, sabay na natin isama na natin yung sa Mindoro, no? Because I think these are ito yung top 2 most notorious district engineering office na talagang lumobo doon pa lang sa sa paglagay ng budget, kitang-kita from 1 billion, 1.5 billion sa National Expenditure Program, naging 20 billion doon sa dalawang district sa Mindoro. Sa Bulacan, meron naging 16 billion, ganun din. So ilang Chairman, what action has COA undertaken to investigate itong assigned auditors?
Thank you po, Mr. Chair. Doon po sa ating fraud audit na ginawa, na isinasagawa po. Part of it po is yun pong fraud auditors would also look at the negligence or complicity ng ating po mga resident auditors po dun sa baba. And part of that po ay submit po sa amin, and we will go through it po dun sa ating Internal Affairs Office para po mapatawad po natin ng tama na penalty. Actually, if mamarapatin po nyo, we can submit it to you, but ang pakiusap lang po namin, confidential lang po muna, because po we are still going through the process of issuing the decision, dahil pagkatapos po ng pag-file dun sa Internal Affairs Office, dadaan po to sa legal, and then iti-take up po sa NBank. But meron na po mga initial findings which we submit to the Honorable Committee. Salamat po.
Thank you for that. Siguro with your indulgence, Mr. Chair. Kasi this has started 2022, no, yung talagang malaki yan. So, siguro kung lumusot nung hindi pa gaano kalaki, palaki ng palaki, so I think I hope that you would investigate, at nanggaling na rin mismo sa DPWH officials in this first District Engineering Office, nakasama po ang DBM and COA, no, doon po sa kanilang collusion, no, o yung sabuatan dito. And I hope that to restore faith in government, kailangan ho talagang magkaroon ng action dito. And I have confidence in you, Chairperson Cordova. You have been in government for so long, nag-NTC pa lahat, no? And I am hoping that you would help in restoring faith. Kasi ang COA talagang natin, Mr. Chair, no? Talagang inaasahan natin na talagang siguraduhin yung mga proyekto na gawa ng tama at maayos. Kaya lang kung kasama yung ahensya na dapat nag-check o nagpapatunay na maayos na ginawa ang proyekto, mawawala talaga ang tiwala ng taong bayan. Now, ang nakakalungkot dito, Mr. Chair, I know that you were looking for Commissioner Lipana, who I believe is sick, na alam ko he's undergoing treatment, pero medyo nakakagulat din yung mga revelations that he received a huge amount na medyo rin. So, ang COA ba, although he is an impeachable official, pero kaya meron din ba kayong ginawang action tungkol dito? Or, sige po.
Maraming salamat po, Honorable Chair, Senator J.V. Ejercito. Tungkol po dun sa ating mga resident auditors, rest assured po, makakaasa kayo na tuloy-tuloy po ang aming aksyon dun sa kanila. Secondly po, yun pong fraud audit po namin ay tuloy-tuloy din po. Hindi po kami titigil hanggat hindi po namin naubos po yan. So far po, malaki na po ang natapos namin sa Bulacan, but hindi po kami titigil. And then we go to other parts of the country. Tungkol naman po kay Commissioner Lipana, well, nabanggit po ninyo that as an impeachable officer, ay wala po kaming discipline authority over a commissioner. But ang nangyari po ngayon is the Office of the Ombudsman has already started investigation. So we are cooperating with the Office of the Ombudsman po. Humingi na po sila mga dokumento sa amin and anything that